Hey, I'm John. Welcome to Hand Tool Homeschool, where we are bringing homeschool dads and kids closer together, one woodworking project at a time. And today, I want to show you a technique on how you can square up a board after you cut it so that you will get a perfect 90-degree angle. And it's really important to be able to do this because anytime you are constructing anything, any kind of project, a box, whatever it may be, when you bring your boards together, it has to be square. For example, if you build a box or a chest and you put a lid on it, it's not going to fit correctly, it's not going to work correctly if everything is not square. So that's what we're going to do today, and there are several different methods to do this. The one I'm choosing today is just to basically freehand it, if you will, without using any kind of a guide or a quote jig. So we're going to freehand it. I haven't done this for a while, so hopefully I get it right for you. But you'll understand the concept, and hopefully it'll come out well on the camera. And it's a very efficient way to do it if you are just doing a board here and there. So let's get to it. Okay, so now I have the board that I want to plane secured in the vise. This is cross-cut to the length that I need it, and when I cross-cut it, I created the knife wall to do that. And you can see, let me take it out for you, see if we can get this in focus. You should be able to see right there along the very edge, it's smooth. I'll point this out real quick. Right here, you can see that it's smooth on the edge. That's where the knife wall was. And what we want to do is plane this rough part down to the smooth. Once we do that, we know that we are perfectly square. So I'm going to go ahead and secure it back in the vise. And then I have my plane sharpened up. I have the iron sharpened really well. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just take some strokes across this way. And one thing you do not want to do, you do not want to shoot all the way across the board because the grain is going like this. It's in our case, it's going vertical, straight up. If we were looking down on it, it'd be coming straight up at us. And if you go off the edge of the board, it's unsupported and it'll crack this off. So you don't want to do that. So we'll plane this way a little and then flip it over, flip it around and plane from the other end. And that's how we're going to do this. But we want to be very careful to just watch that we're planing down to that smooth surface where the knife wall is and no more. So let's give it a shot. Hopefully I do well at this. And you want to register your plane. You want to keep it nice and flat. Usually I grip it like this myself to guide it a little bit, but you can grip it here too if you like. So I'm going to run a couple times across and see if I'm getting a shaving, which I'm not, so I'm going to adjust a little bit. You have to have a sharp iron for this. Almost there. I didn't have much to go. I almost shot off the edge, which would have been a bad thing, so make sure you try not to do that. I feel like I might get a little more control when I'm holding the handle. Sometimes the end grain is a little difficult to work with, but either way, we just want to get as close as we can to that knife wall. And the shavings I have are really super fine shavings. You want to really try to get a shaving and not just dust. Let's see if I can focus in a little bit. So I've got a shaving curling there, and that's what you want. So a couple more strokes and I think I'll be good to go. I think that might have actually done it. So now I'm going to flip it around. And I'm going to come from the other end. And it looks like I'm down to it. So now we want to check for our squareness. So first things first, let's check all the way across the board. And I am square across the board. And that's what you want to be. You want to see no gaps. Now it looks like I'm a little off on the top edge. If you can see, once I register my square, let's see. When I register my square, you can see a bit of a gap there at the corner. So I'm going to go ahead and try to straighten that out now. Go ahead and check that. There we go, much better. And I am very square now. So now I just have to flip it around and make sure I square up the other end. Just check as you go. That's what I'm doing, just checking as I go, and I don't take too much off at a time. Just a couple strokes maybe. And I am dead square. So I'm square across, and I'm square this way. Okay, so that's the technique that I use if I want to get the end of the board square really quick and I don't want to pull out a jig to do it or a shooting board. I really do like shooting boards, and I'm going to cover that in another post sometime, but I feel like this is better to start with because you don't need anything additional. It teaches you how to just go ahead and square up the board just referencing your knife wall. So it's a good technique. It is going to take some practice. I've done it, several times. I haven't done it a whole lot. I'm not a master by any means at this technique, but the thing I think that there's a couple things that are really important. Your plane has to be really sharp because you're going across end grain. It's not as easy as when you're planing with the grain. So make sure it's really sharp, and then also just be really deliberate about watching to get down to that knife wall. Just really watch close. Try to register your plane. Try to register the sole flat on the board and hold it flat as you are planing on the board. Don't rock it. Just be really slow, deliberate, take your time, and watch carefully. And it's going to get you there. Just take several times to do it, practice a little bit, and then once you have it, you've got it. So that's it. That is the technique for squaring up a board and getting your 90-degree angle perfect. All right. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Also, you can visit my website at www.handtoolhomeschool.com, and you can also leave comments there. And then you can find links to my stuff on social media. So, thank you very much for watching. And as always, take care and God bless.